Thank you very much for your participation. And unfortunately, Paul had the architect engineering perspective, but unfortunately, yeah, he's traveling, and he said that he couldn't make our meeting today. But again, our point here is to introduce different thoughts and topics. And I received a couple of LinkedIn messages, actually, people saying that they are doing some research on the topic. There were a few students from universities that were very interested in the recordings, and they wanted to watch it later again. So I greatly appreciate everybody's time and their input in this meeting, and hopefully we can integrate all these different thoughts and ideas for future. And as I mentioned, our events are going to be in the Pacific time from next quarter. So very good presentations. I know that people hear about Lean a lot, and they think that they know Lean, but I think what we presented today had a lot of good information that they can use. As I mentioned, next year we are doing more events on the digital transformation. So if you guys have any ideas or guests or friends that you think that could help us understand how to implement the new digital capabilities such as blockchain, the BIM, new BIM technologies, and so forth, please don't hesitate to introduce people to us for next year. Okay, and we'll see you again in November for our celebration, hopefully.
Harry, it looks like James actually had a question for Felipe.
Oh, thank you, James. Oh, yeah, I was like, Harry, yeah, don't try to end it yet, Harry. There's always time. There's always time for Scrum, Harry. Remember that. So, James, in the Scrum framework, at the end of the two circles that I had on the screen, you've got multiple times for feedback and learning. One of the ones on the daily is during the daily Scrum. So the Scrum Master acts as a servant leader, facilitates a conversation, asking people how the work is going yesterday, how the work is going today, what work did they get done, what roadblocks or constraints do they have, and what is coming up on deck. In that short 15-minute conversation with the team, things will come up. Same exact way like in Last Planner System, they do the check-in. And during that time, that's when we surface variations and learnings like that. On your Pareto chart, as a Scrum Master, we would slap ourselves in the face if we allowed a project to get that far and have the commitment to time be the theme through the entire project. As a Scrum Master, we'd recognize that pattern quickly over the course of a couple of days, and we'd help the team make adjustments so that if you tried to Pareto variance with the team using Scrum, it never would work. There'd be just it would look totally random because the team is learning so quickly, no pattern would emerge. So in Scrum, you'd prevent patterns from emerging if the team is following the framework, using the feedback to their benefit to learn. We do like in teams that use Last Planner with Scrum, we'd like to use the variance as an opportunity to have a quick conversation with everybody close to the work and say, like, this is what's happening now, this is why we can't do it, and just have a very fast learning with everybody so that it doesn't happen again. So like in the example of what Jeremy was doing with the painter, the framer, and the electrician, they were having like a little mini retrospective, just doing a pause and saying, how can we do this sequence better? That's very much aligned with agile thinking, Jeremy. So bonus points to you for that. You set me up for success. And that's how you do it. You want to start to adapt. In Scrum, we welcome change. We welcome even change orders because, as you know, James, the customer always pays no matter what.
Actually, this is the discussion I had today with our PM web implementer. He was like making it very difficult to make a change from what we asked for and what we want to do now. And like, what are you talking about? Let's be agile here. We're going to change our requirements if we want to. So exactly.
Right.
So great. Samir, I was hoping that you would show a little bit of demo of vPlanner. You didn't take the chance to do that.
I think it's more appropriate to position it in the lean thinking more so than the tool for this presentation. I wasn't really trying to.
Because I really like the video that Philip showed
Yeah.
and the example Jeremy had with the how they applied it. But I think showing them that there are tools, especially like on a computer and app, that would make it easier, because we are actually using Miro now for our pool planning. But I don't agree with it, because it's like the information is there, but how do you manage it?
One of the challenges I always have when I work with teams as a coach is why are they doing what they think they're doing? And until we answer the why, it's very hard to introduce tools. So tools are great. You need them. vPlanner is one of those tools. But unless you know why you're using it, it's gonna fail. So that's what we focus on when we coach is, where you're at today, where you're going, what's your goal, and then that variance is how you implement the strategy of and the tools. So sometimes teams could benefit from just taking a step back and figuring out, what the problem is that they're trying to solve before they pick a tool.
Exactly. But like I said, I mean, a lot of people that join us, they might know a little bit about the topic, or they might have some perspective on it. But what they do is, once they watch the recording, or they have a discussion with like a boss or like their department or their team, whatever, they're like, oh, go watch this recording or whatever, and they talk about this topic or whatever. So,
and you learn from other people's experiences, but you have to internalize it, you have to adapt it, you have to make it yours as a process first, and then the tools as they're designed would make sense in that context.
So in PMI, we call it tailoring and customization of different methodologies to your organization culture. So that's a great point. Yeah. Great, thank you guys, appreciate it. And I hope we can have other programs in future where we have like an hour-long time for you guys to present. That's what PMI actually does for their PDD, for example, or the professional day, development day, and also the symposium. Samir presented about an hour and a half in our last symposium. So hopefully in future, we're going to invite you for our construction track, and we'll do an hour presentation hopefully there. So this is a great introduction for those events.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.